Still have the stupidest criminals around me. I'm still driving by Times screaming stuff. You know, if you want them, they're outside my apartment every night, yelling stuff. People part of it. All you gotta do is wait outside, they'll show up. They have no shame. Okay. Their tapes, I already told you how they were altered. All the people that knew of it. December 9, 21, 4 p.m. Edith Oakland apartment, Cleveland Avenue. They call him and tell him all the tapes before were them and not me. And it's just a bunch of men doing crimes down here. That they're drugged and photoshopped. He told the Canton police and investigators. December 9/21, white man, bald, with dark eyes, distributing food. Starr County Hunger Task Force on 9th Street. He actually worked the case. There's only a few people distributing food, so they'd have his name. He comes back, he comes out, he looks at me, he looks at the people in the back. He said, we always knew the tapes before were them, not her, so we never said a word. Okay. He talked to the Canton police and investigators too. March 13, 21. They always throw Will's promises at me. No man was ever to touch me, that's legally or harmfully. Okay, someone comes in Mercy Medical because I left Altman because I was mistreated. And I went over there, and someone come in and said that to the nurse, and I could hear him outside my room. The nurse comes in laughing. The only thing they had on you was adjusting yourself. The guy standing there said, that's sick. She said, no, it's actually funny. All she did is simply wipe off some water with clothes on. That's all they had. And she said, it's actually funny. And I'm like, okay. Well, March 2nd to the 3rd, 21, they're breaking with the neighbors. My car's bugged and they sold the login. So everybody heard. They were going to put 2 clips together, put her in a porn. It's not her. It's them. Don't worry about her. They said they were going to make it dirty. Well, they started saying stuff that didn't happen. And my stomach started bleeding from stress. Literally started bleeding. Okay. And I'm thinking, well, if it's 2 clips, it's somebody else's body in my head, right? Well, they kept saying it and saying it around me. And then I'm like, well, the only time I touch myself like that is showering. Okay? You wash. I walk outside. She figured out what they did. And they're laughing at me in the dark. When my car's bugged. If I'm in it or not. What part of informant did they not understand I'm bugged? And these dirty people sold a protective light case. May 12th, 22, Bubba's Restaurant. Big old camera outside at noon. Undercover police from Irvine are driving by and several police stations. Okay. They're screaming at him. We told those boys none of this is funny. We found a tape of them emitting a shower scene in the other room. Okay. May 26, 22, KFC in Belden at noon. A man walks in. The attorney had it set up so that looked like she was weird with herself. And they can't use it because some idiot man told on him for the shower scene in the other room. I thought it was more than one man with integrity, and thank you for confirming that. And like they said, for we all here. Okay? March 24th, 22, 1:30. They're screaming at each other because the neighbors are fighting because part of them are part of it. You framed her before? Yeah, we framed her before. Shame on you. I know, I wish we wouldn't have done it. Those people even raped her. I feel bad about everything. And Amy, my neighbor, is like, I thought my husband was loud. I could hear that clear in my apartment. The apartment building for me, second close to the fence, apartment 2, ratted out Dave 8/9/21 in the morning that he had roofied me and told me to say something stupid. Well, they came out and called him a bastard a couple days later. Children were calling them bastards for framing me in Dollar General. And like they said, even out towards the North Canton, we all heard that bastard admit to framing you. Okay. February 2nd, 22, Burlington Coat Factory by the men's clothing. I was with a different client and some guy and a girl with black hair. Um, he looks like the guy that went to Pammer but younger. Could be his younger brother. I see you're out today. It's not funny what's going on. I know. I wish I wouldn't have drugged her and told her to say it before. It was like a fiasco day. People ran in saying a lot. Oh my goodness. They admitted to drugging her and telling her to say it before. Okay. My one client lives on 6th Street. Brown house across the way. Ran out and said it to the postman. And it's for we all hear. We all heard it. They chant around my apartment for we all hear. Okay. May 25th, 21, 6 p.m. in front of my other client. Another client, dad, the church people had broken before, drugged me, and told me to say weirdo stuff. He told my neighbors, Jim and Brian, it was too dark for him, and he won't let me around him. Okay. 8/8/21, Henry Moffey from Instagram has been stalking me for 3 years. He works for Dave. He started texting me. He thought I was pretty. Soon as they tried to kill me, what's scary is he showed up. Walmart, Lake Milton, Bedford, Ravenna, North Canton, Louisville. 8/8/21, he comes racing in town. That ass actually fentanyl her. I'm like, drama queen. Okay. He screams out on Fairlawn Street. The ass actually, I feel bad about everything. 8/8/21, 8:15 to 8:30 at night. Did you know he fentanyled her before and told her to say it? No, we just found out. We just didn't know. They knew the kids were lying. Well, yeah, they did know the kids were lying at 18. Because they wanted the house for Auntie Shell. They're documenting me games to pretend. Okay? All the police know they lied. Okay. We just didn't know they knew the kids were lying. So they thought they'd make a buck on a roofie. Okay? I'm with my client October 5th, 21, 1:53 p.m., Huntington Bank at Cleveland Avenue. Women follow me in. I don't want Melissa getting any money out of this. That's okay. They knew they made everything up. They didn't want anybody to help her. I'm like, shut up. Okay? 1295 Fairlawn screamed at him last year for doing it. She talked to several people. The apartment building for me, second close defense, told the police last year. There was a lady in November where she was African American and she was going to extort money out the toxic water. She showed up December 2nd and 3rd at Save a Lot. I can get you the time and date that. She found out they made everything up too, and nobody better say a word to me. Okay. January 1922, 11 o'clock in the morning, I'm in, they're in the back with my client's social worker. They're outside the room, so they had to let them in the back. January 19th, 22, 11 o'clock in the morning. She was drugged and told to say it before. Well, we just found our someone needs to help. Okay? And it's for we all here. Okay? Do they give up? No. What they're claiming, and this is where it's rich. Everybody knows it's an undercover police from Ravenna in the courthouse. Okay? Out of their jurisdiction, 10.6 miles out of town. What they're claiming is their road police broke in my house 10 miles out of their jurisdiction. And that's breaking and entering. And it's considered burglary when you do it intent to harm someone. Okay? And they're stalking people out of their jurisdiction. Okay? To extort money and framing. Okay? They didn't have a court order. I talked to the Ravenna chief of police. All their police are denying it. We couldn't work a case for you or against you. You didn't live in our jurisdiction. And our police didn't find any of this funny. Well, it was their undercover police in the courthouse, and everybody knows. I said they parked in the police parking lot at the courthouse. He's like, had it been the Portage County Sheriff's doing it to you. Went out there, they didn't even know Will's case. You don't get a quarter to watch somebody. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life. Failure to notify before initiating and speaking to the other person in the home is abuse and misconduct, and failure to protect as abuse and misconduct goes into the right of privacy, illegal search and seizure. Fourth Amendment. People are to be safe in their home with their effects, papers, and items. Okay? No warrant, no search without warranted with an oath or affirmation. That's the Miranda rights, because you have the right to remain quiet. They have to knock on the door. They have to talk to you before they even search your house. And they have to give you your Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. They can't just break in and watch you. It's 5 years. So what they're saying is the rogue police up there are breaking in homes out of their jurisdiction, stalking people, and breaking and entering, committing burglary, drugs and kidnapping people, framing them, in the intent to extort money to cover up premeditated murder. Is that what they're saying? And the other ones are aiding and abetting their crimes by not arresting them. Is that what they're saying? Is that what they're saying? I've never been questioned by the police of wrongdoing. I've never had Miranda rights. I've never been prosecuted, and I never found guilty. Now, I did call the FBI on my ex in those churches. He did list me an informant. He did take a statement, and a heavy-set officer showed up at Walmart within a day or two that he had asked Dave about those people threatening me. That made Will at the Canton FBI's office legal. It's what it takes. Okay? He created a Karen around the house state case. That's what the police in uniform call it. Protected home custody. That man called the wrong police station. He called the courthouse. He should have called the sheriff's. They didn't even know about the protected life custody case when I went up there and talked to him. When I talked to the Portage County Sheriff and I said the thing about police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life, and they have to speak to everyone first, he's like, yeah. Okay. He's like, yes. Okay. I sat and talked to him. There's lady sheriffs behind the door. They're like, none of this is funny, and someone needs to really look into this. I didn't even know about Will's case. And he's like, I know you don't think Officer Bacon did anything. He walked right in the chief's office and told him about this, and he chose not to do anything. So he's aiding and abetting his officers doing crimes in his area. Is that what they're saying? Because there's a real protective life case, and several police departments work it and know of it. And they have legal surveillance that will turn me over to the police and for them to protect an informant. And Will called the wrong police station, called the courthouse. February 25th, 22. Neighbor, I think he lives like 2 or 3 houses down. I seen his vehicle, comes walking into McDonald's, Whipple and Hills and Dales Road corner. By noon, he walks ahead of me. I'm tired of this. Those undercover police called up Will and told Will she was lying. And I found out he didn't watch one house tape. So they get away with this. And then he did the thing about my ex-husband showing up at a store, telling everybody he didn't want me anymore, been trying to get rid of me, and it hadn't worked. And it's been the people in the store doing it to me ever since. And some guy thought it was amazing what I lived through. And he wanted to meet me in Upwalk Speedo and says hello. Okay. I'm doing better with that. When I first moved out, they said around me some guy wanted to meet me because I was almost murdered. And it turned my stomach to to find a gas station to run in and be sick. Do you realize Will told me he had a witness? I told him I had Sarah. I had already asked her. gave him Will's number. Sarah told me she tried to call Will several times. I even called her. She's like, I left my number and he won't call me back. I have a witness, and honestly, there was 2 other witnesses of them threatening my life. There was her one manager had resigned and went to work with Katie. And so did the dark-haired girl that worked with her, and they all would go out for coffee and dinner and stuff after work. And it wasn't just Sarah. She was threatening my life. And that her church had a permanent plan to do away with me, and they were scared for me. Are you going to do something about this? Okay? He didn't bother checking even witnesses. They make him sound really stupid. Do you realize if he would have even bothered to send up a private investigator, if they would have mentioned illegal search or seizure, they'd say, I want to see her and Dave's Miranda rights. Well, we just broke in and did it. Dave's dating Michelle, a retired judge's daughter. We're trying to help her get everything, and that's sweet. We photoshopped a shower scene. We drug her up and told her to say something stupid. Isn't that funny? Had bruises the size of oranges and grapefruits on my legs before Caldwell. Hand marks in my arms and a cut in my leg. They said they were beating me under drugs before. I don't find these people funny at all. My ex-daughter-in-law, Melissa, was friends with a retired judge's daughter, Michelle. Even Dixie knew about Michelle. John's kids called her Auntie Shell. They came up where I was in a protected custody case because Dave threatened to kill Dixie and the baby. And they had a list, and he threatened to kill all my children. Everybody's getting followed around. They followed them. Melissa telling them to lie, and the kids stating they were pretending on Thanksgiving of 18. They're documenting me games of pretend. The rest of my family spoke highly of me. And everything was wiped out from the start. Okay? And I told you there's a good chance that the guy went to Paymer, just maybe a neighbor, pretending he's FBI. I lived at 4490 John Thomas. I had a Ravenna address, but I lived in Pamera Township. The next door to the house after ours was a duplex, old lady on one side and a group of men on the other side. They had a copy of my phone. They were mocking me. I told the Portage County Sheriff, he's like, that's not funny. I said, I know it's not, and I forgot to tell Will. And the guy that went to Paymer was seen in the picture window. He may be on the lease. If not, they pull the lease of September of 2018. He may be on the lease. If not, they know who he is. Went up and told on me before I called Will back, and they were dragging me out. I do need someone to pull Will's case. It is a protected home case. And it is legal, September 27th, 18. Nothing before. It's considered stalking. That's why that Steve and Eric, they put their name on it. They're looking for him for stalking. Nobody gets a court order. Police can't just randomly break in private property and stalk the people. They can't Photoshop you and tell people they're Photoshopping you and they're only using drugs on you and lie they have sodium pentothal reports. That's a lot of charges. It's breaking and entering, it's burglary, it's kidnapping, it's drug charges, it's attempt extortion and attempt murder charges. That makes them the scary danger people. People call these people reprobate bastards, and they can't put charges on you. The most the police can do is arrest you and let you go, the prosecutor take you in front of, subpoena in front of a judge to, with your attorney for you to, the judge to weigh out if it's admissible. And then he puts charges, then you have to be found guilty in a trial for them to stick. So where I've never been spoke to by anybody. I've never been questioned, never had Miranda rights or wrongdoing, never prosecuted, never found guilty. For them to say I got charges, I just laugh at them. I can pass a PCI background check. That's all criminal background check. I was found innocent in 18 and carrying around the house, state case. I got my notary like a year and a half ago. All this is ridiculous and stupid. I have more witnesses and more people are going to the police because nobody finds any of this funny. Being stalked all the time, have people follow me and make fun of me for shower scenes, for drugs and where my car is bugged and they sold a login. They follow me. I start giving testimonies. Everybody scatters. None of this is funny. No, it's not. No, it's not. And they have them like the Amish men with the beards. Dead to rights, hurting me. And here they were doing it before. And trying to extort money and get the victim in trouble for their crimes. They didn't have a right, like the regular good officers in uniform, they didn't have a right in your home. We could never look or listen. It'd be illegal too. Until Will took your statement, even the FBI couldn't be in your home. They tried to frame the FBI. They pretended they were FBI. They have tried to frame the Maslin police. They have tried to frame everybody in the world to get away with their crimes. It's just a broke few officers helping out for the judges, retired judges' family to get money. It's not funny. None of this is. June of 19, the officer that said he went to Dave and asked him, he followed me around a lot. He was in the back of Liberty House Share on Hillsondales Road. He looked right at me. The worst thing you ever did wrong, honey, is you bent over him properly. And we can wipe that one out. Well, they only made fun of the back of my knees. That was one of her mean lies. That they seen my butt years ago, and that's where that old ass showed up and said he drugged me and told me to say that stupid stuff, and I had to verify that I didn't even own those 9 counts. They only made fun of the varicose veins on the back of my knees. They're documenting me games of pretend. He's like, we can wipe that one out. Worst thing you ever did wrong, honey, is you bent over properly. We can wipe that one out. He's laughing. But he made a mistake in front of the North Canton Jackson police. He was on the phone. They had made up a case to watch me before they did something funny to me because she liked him. Okay. He was also in the back of CSE Bank. And I seen him run out when Gabe had a wreck. Oh my goodness, Gabe got in a wreck. I gotta go check on him. So yeah. And he didn't see know about a drug confession or shower scene. Like I said, I was found innocent and 18. They yelled it out in Walmart. It's ridiculous for any child to be afraid of Karen. She's nothing but good and love. Let's see. They also got in Guy's face, Karen's one of the best women you'd ever meet in life. October 2020, FedEx, for we all know this woman's innocent. For we all know. It's ridiculous. I can still go through more. And Maslin police will always say it's documented me games of pretending she never heard anything. All this, they told gastrology January 2019. I got my stomach scoped that my family was pulling nothing but fucking shit. February 2nd, 22, I told you some guy admitted to